Hello, and thank you for clicking on my channel. Please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and your notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever content like this gets produced. If you're interested in this kind of content, I'll be telling some stories that I've experienced throughout my life that maybe or may not be interesting to you. If you like them, hit the like button and subscribe. Um, okay, so this here video is about the pets that they had in Ironwood State Prison. Okay, they had excuse me, they had they had several kind of different pets inside of this prison. Okay, uh, people, men in general, like to keep pets. You know, even at home, you'll see men with aquariums or triariums, I think they call them, where they have snakes, lizards, turtles, iguanas, uh, different spiders, different kind of animals. Men like to have pets, dogs. It's just part of our nature, you know. And it's a curious hobby, but an interesting one. When you keep a snake, especially if it's a venomous snake, or a spider, especially if it's a venomous spider, or any type of dangerous animal, you know, it makes it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more fun to have as a pet. People trip on it. Anyways, my experience with people having pets in Ironwood Prison was a trip. Uh, I'm just going to give you a couple of examples, and so you could get the picture of the type of things that people do to keep their little pets. You know, I had a homeboy in there named Chino. He was settled with another homeboy of mine named Laughing Boy, and Chino was one of these men who liked to have different kind of pets. He was a lifer. He had no hope of ever getting out, and he's going to do what he could to enjoy his life and indulge in the things that interest him. One of them was keeping different types of exotic animals or reptiles. Um, when I got there, he had a rattlesnake. It was a baby rattlesnake, which is much more dangerous than an adult rattlesnake because they have no control of the amount of venom that passes through their fangs when they bite somebody. They haven't developed that control yet. So when they bite you, it's just a flurry of poison that comes out of their teeth, and they're very deadly. They can kill you, even though that they're very small. They're very deadly. So he had this rattlesnake, right? He kept it in his cell. He made a little, I think it's called a triarium. I wish I could. I wish I knew the right word. It's like an aquarium, but for reptiles. It has sand, rocks, a couple of little plants to make it look like trees. And he had his little snake set up in there, right? Then a little while after, he came up on a tarantula, not just any old tarantula that'll fit in your hand, in a man's hand, big sized tarantula, right? And during the time I was there, he had a bat, the snake, the tarantula, and a kangaroo rat. Cutest little rat, man. They're small mice. Their faces like a mouse, their bodies like a rat, and then they have a long tail with a little bushy tail at the end, right? And they hop like kangaroos on their back feet. Cute, and they're fluffy. They're a cute little animal, you know. Anyway, so he had all of these things in his cell, right? Uh, Laughing Boy told me one day he had to go to the bathroom, right? And he looked over to where the snake was because he always kept one eye on the snake for obvious reasons, right? And the snake was gone, so he's like, "Damn, man, I don't want to walk on the floor. I don't want this thing to bite my foot," you know. So he never did find the snake that night. So he had to stand up one leg on the bunk, one on the toilet, and hold onto the wall and the bunk and do what he can so he can use the restroom, you know, so he could urinate. And I was cracking up when he told me that story, man, because it made me realize, like, yeah, man, it is dangerous having those animals, you know. But Chino dug him. It was like, hey, homie, you know, I love you, but you know, I can't let go of my pets. You know, if you're not cool, uh, you know, there's nothing I can do. You have to either find a new home or I don't know what to tell you. So he kept his pets though. That little kangaroo rat was a trip, man. It would take off and run down the tier. Everybody knew it was Chino's kangaroo rat. They'd feed it, let Chino know, hey man, you're. I know what his name was. He's down here over by myself. And Chino would do his little noise or whatever, and the little rat would run back to his cell. The little kangaroo rat, cute little pet. Even if you were out here to have something like that, it would have been pretty cool. Same thing with the snake, even with the spider. Even if you're out here and you have those kind of pets, it's kind of cool. I think so. I like them. And there were other things on the yard like lizards, man. This white guy had this one lizard. It must have been about 1.5 feet long, but it didn't have a tail. The tail was cut off. So it lizards, when you grab them by the tail, they drop the tail and they run. It's the way that they get away from predators. A predator will grab a hold of its tail, and it'll drop its tail and take off, and the tail would still be wiggling and distract the predator. The predator will be on that tail while he gets away. Anyway, so I guess something happened to that effect to this lizard because he didn't have his tail. He had dropped his tail. But it was still a very big lizard. He must have been as thick as maybe about $1 piece. He was fat. Big old fat lizard, long lizard, heavy guy. And dude used to come out to the yard with it, sometimes have it on his shoulder. He'd walk around with it and stuff. He had told me that he got it when it was much smaller. So he had it so long that it grew to that size. He'd feed it crickets and other things that he caught on the yard, other bugs and stuff. He'd catch in the yard. And I think it ate some type of lettuce too. They also had horny toads there. A lot of people had them. They're like a flat lizard with a round stomach. Like the round stomach would be this way with the head over here and the tail over here. They were like, and the stomach would be like a $50 or $1 silver dollar size round, and it'd have horns on its head coming out. Like the devil, little horns. And little horns all in the back of its head. Bad little lizards. Cool to look at, The most interesting pet, I think, though, was a bat. Okay? Chino came up on a bat one day, and he used to let it fly around in its cell. And even though the cell was small, it'd be able to fly around without hitting the walls because it has sonar. It'd make this clicking noise, and that vibration would bounce off the wall, and so it wouldn't fly into the wall. It would turn, and it was able to fly around in the wall and stuff. I know sometimes he'd put it on him, and he'd be stretched out with his two little claws and his wings stretched out, hooked on his shirt. This was over time. He didn't have all these pets at one time. I'm just saying over time that the pets that he was able to come up on, and those exact same pets were throughout the prison. Different inmates had them throughout the prison. It's just that I had more experience with Chino's pets because he's from my neighborhood, and I'd go to his cell sometimes, his building. I wasn't in his building, but I go to his building sometimes, talk with him at his cell door when he had it open and he's cleaning it and stuff. Anyways, a lot of people had pets like that. One day I found this one snake. It was a yellow snake with a black line running through it. Okay, it was very small. It was only like about 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet at the most. About as fat as my little finger, very small diameter, but bright yellow with a dark black line. Crazy looking snake. But I didn't have it long. A lot of people were interested in the snake. Everybody was hitting me up. Hey, I'll give you this for it. I'll give you 2 coffees for it. I'll give you this. I got offered all kinds of stuff for that snake. And I finally sold it for $50 worth of merchandise, store, different store items. $50, on a snake that I caught out in the yard running along the wall of the prison, one of the buildings in the prison. It was a bad snake, though. It's just I didn't want to take care of a snake. I had my routine. I had my little program going. a snake didn't fit in it into my program, so I sold it for some food. It is what it is. You know. But yeah, people have a lot of pets in prison that they catch. There's a lot of bats flying around in the night. You go to night yard, you see big hordes of these bats just encircling around the lights and stuff. Once in a while, one would for whatever reason would get caught. Get caught when it would land on something. Someone would grab it, take it in the building, and make it a pet. Even one inmate had a bird, that had hurt its wings, and he helped it get healthy again. But the bird stood with him, liked him, and they had some type of little relationship going where he could take the bird outside, it'd stay on his shoulder, it'd fly away, not outside the building, inside the building. It'd fly off onto the TV, onto the bars of the watchtower, just fly around, then come back and land on his shoulder. It was a trip on how people kept pets in there. I never heard of anybody getting bit by any of the snakes that were in there or any of the spiders that they had, because few people had tarantulas and rattlesnakes and other critters that they caught and they raised. I just thought it was interesting on the way they kept them. They make little homes for them, and they took care of those things. Of course, during shakedowns, the deputies would go in, and if they didn't like a certain inmate, they'd take his pets. But if you were cool with one of the COs there, you could tell him, "Hey man, let me get my snake back. Hey, can you get my rat back, my kangaroo rat, or whatever the case may be?" And most of the time, they'll give you back your pet, man. They understood, man. A lot of guys are doing life, And why are you gonna take their little animal away? Some cops don't give a shit, but some did, They give them back their pet. But yeah, pets are kept inside prison. I know some prisons they have dog training programs. They get to have dogs. I know. I seen a thing on TV where some dudes on death row were able to have cats and stuff. It's cool to have a pet when you're incarcerated. Give you a little something to do, a little something to dig on. Something to interact with. But anyways, yeah, in Ironwood they had some trippy animals, and I was surprised. Yeah, it was surprising to me just to see the types of animals and the sizes. Some people had some pretty good sized snakes in there. Those ones would get taken away for sure. Once they get found out. But depending on who you were and who you knew, and how you were doing your time, I think that had a lot to do with who was able to keep those kind of things. But anyways, it's just a quick video, man. I thought it was a trip. People don't realize some of the things that inmates do just to curar, just to have something to trip on, And those kind of things ended up in as pets in prison, Anyways, I'm gonna cut this video short, and it's just a little informative video, man. I hope you enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting on the way people kept their little reptilian friends. I just want to share that with you guys. I'm gonna cut this video short. You guys take care. I hope to see you on the next video.